Hey guys, it's Gideon. Today I'm going to make a video that's a little bit different format. I'm just going to talk. I'm not going to edit anything. I just want to talk about what's happening, what's going on with Ashes of Creation right now, what we know, what we don't know, share my thoughts on that, and then just a little update on my plans for the channel going forward.
Remain calm. All is well.
Just jumping into the high-level summary of what we know and what we don't know. What we know is that Intrepid Studios is going through a serious internal crisis. Stephen Sharif, the creative director, the guy who started all of this, has publicly stated that he's resigned in protest. And this is due to losing control of the company. I didn't even think that was possible. I think a lot of us have heard that there's this board that is trying to force him to make decisions that he disagreed with. And that's just strange to me because I didn't assume that there was that much outside funding where he could have, lost that majority share in decision making. So that's really disappointing to hear. It sounds like a lot of leadership has stepped away as well. We know that Margaret, the director of communications, has, and that we see other heavy hitters like Bill Trost, marking themselves as open to work on LinkedIn. It just looks really bad. We're hearing that there's mass layoffs potentially of the entire team coming today, February 2nd. But there's been no official statement, no post in the news section, nothing officially announced by, whatever Intrepid is still, like whoever's in charge, whoever's in control. So we don't know definitively, is Intrepid going to cease to exist? Are they for sure shutting down the servers? Are they going to try to shift development elsewhere? There's a lot of open questions right now that we don't know the answer to. The only definitive statements that we have are in, the posts that we've seen from Stephen about him stepping away, and, the stuff that we see with staff making statements about leaving as well. So I'm under no delusion that everything's just going to be reversed and everything's going to be fine. I'm just waiting to see what the official word is, what's really going to happen. I'm not very hopeful right now. And even if there was some sort of miracle 180, there's so much damage that's been done. And, I don't even know how you would pick up from here. Like, even if suddenly, everyone's, 80% of the people or more are back and they're going to continue on and concessions are made. It just, so much progress and goodwill is just, stifled or gone at this point. I don't know how they would recover. I've always been someone that's given Intrepid the benefit of the doubt. I've defended unpopular decisions when I thought that they were, well-grounded decisions. So I'm not here to dunk on them because I usually am, one of the more positive voices, give them a chance voices. But I feel like some of the spirited debates I've had with you guys in comments and stuff, I'm not going to betray that goodwill, nor would I ever even consider that. I'm going to, say it like it is. I feel like things are probably dead, or they're going to be hamstrung or look completely different from, what we all hoped for. So that said, I'm going to, have a little bit of hopium and copium and wait to see if we get a statement before the 13th. But it's, in the words of Schobach, looking grim. It's not looking good. So I just want to share some of my other thoughts too on why I was so excited for this project and why I'm so disappointed to hear this news in the past 48 hours. I thought this was really different than other games in the past that have had a bunch of hype or fundraising and then flopped, or maybe were a scam, right? And and I'm going to defend this. The reason why this was different, we had a great feeling combat, and we had actual progress on playable systems. Now, we can argue about timeline and if they should have been further or how certain systems were broken and all these things, but we actually had a game that felt great to play combat wise and fun, engaging systems that were added over the past year or so that we got to interact with, whether they were perfect or not. So that was a big distinction for me, what made it different from other projects that ended up completely flopping or failing. Because of this, and because it looked like we were on this road to finish the systems, this year or maybe a little bit longer during this early access alpha phase, it looked realistic that we could end up moving into a beta after 12 to 18 months, seeing some polish, and ending up with the game going live. They've come so far, it really seemed like that was a possibility, even if it did end up taking more than, let's say, 2 more years. And because of this, and because of that mission and that focus to not have pay to win and to respect the player's time and to make the game about player-driven content and every server being different and all those really cool visions that you could really see taking shape, this is somewhere where I wanted to live as a casual player for years to come. And I was really excited about that. I'm typically that glass half full category, for Ashes content, but unless we hear miracle news, things really are looking grim. So that's what I wanted to share with, on the My Thoughts section. I'll update you guys when we hear official news and I have some time to ponder and digest that. But last but not least, I just want to talk a little bit about my plans for the channel. So one thing I'll share is that I was actually already working on a Soulframe first impressions video, as I found it very enjoyable and a great complement to playing Ashes of Creation. I'll save it for the video, but I felt like there was kind of a similar spirit there, even though the gameplay and the length of sessions and what you focus on are very different. I thought they paired really, really well in how they were different, and I could see the audiences overlapping for sure. I was waiting on this since I was, the creator spotlight or creator of the month for January, and Intrepid was also going to feature a short promo for my channel in the live stream that ended up not happening. So I was like, I'm not going to cover, even if I'm relating it to Ashes, I'm not going to cover another game, when we're in the midst of that. I'll wait till February or March or something like that. So for now, stay tuned. If Ashes does end up fully shutting down, I'm probably going to take a couple weeks off just to reflect, recharge, and, kind of deal with that internally. I've always just made videos for fun as a hobby. This isn't like some big money maker for me. So I want to make sure that whatever game or games I spend time on covering next, that I'm doing that just for the love of the game and because I enjoy doing it. So let me know what your plans are in the comments. I'd love to discuss, hear, what you guys are looking forward to playing. And as always, until the next one, peace.